some of the exercises that we'll be doing. Uh, both much speaking. We're kind of back in behind the computer, and then we have Trip Young and Miranda Wall look like. So here we go.
All right, guys, it's Coach Cap. First thing that we're going to do are called high knees. What you want to do is in a running motion, you want to drive your knees up. As you go, you're going to use opposite hand, opposite foot. Make sure you keep your back flat and try to get your knees up to your chest. And here's our demonstration.
Now notice how Trip pumped his, that you are continuing to pump your arms just to be in that athletic stance and to help increase your speed and athletic ability.
Are called butt. You're going to try to kick yourself in the glutes, which is also known again. We're going to use, you'll have a slight forward lean when you do butt kicks, and here they are. Notice how Miranda's getting her heels all the way up. So is Trip. That's really good form. Okay. Again, you want to lean slightly forward when you do that. Next thing we're going to do are called Frankensteins. Okay. It's easier to start with both arms out and the opposite hand. Okay. So you want to keep your leg as straight as possible, and you're trying to have your right toes meet your left hand. And then you'll go straight doing your left hand. I'm sorry, your left leg with your right hand in a walking fashion. And here is a Frankenstein walk. Notice how her legs stay straight. They come up and meet her hand. Trip's going to show you as well. Okay. Try to kick as high as possible, but without bending your knees. Good job, guys. And their feet are very quiet. Okay. You don't want to slam your feet down. Okay. You want to be in a nice controlled motion. Next thing we're going to do are called lunge with a twist. It's a forward lunge. Notice how our students' knees are not touching the ground. Okay, and we are going to twist to the leg that is out and up. Okay, so Miranda's going to start. Notice how her knee is not touching the ground there. She's going to twist. Okay, that'll help your lower back as well as your core. Notice how she has a slight forward lean with her hips. Here comes Trip. You take a couple steps in between as you alternate your legs, just like Trip's doing there. Good job, guys. Next thing we're going to do are called a side lunge. Okay, we always say, just so they'll face the camera, we're going to go right, left, 1, 2, 3. So she's going to, Miranda's going to stride out with her right leg first. Her left leg is going to remain straight. That's her back leg. Okay. So she's going to demonstrate. She's going to kick out her right leg. Her left leg stays straight. Then she's going to do the opposite side and take 3 steps in between. Okay, so it's right, left, 1, 2, 3. Here comes Trip. Going to go right, left, and then walk 1, 2, 3. If you keep that rhythm, then you're not going to go so fast. He's going to keep both legs straight when in the back there. Good job. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is called a karaoke. Okay, so standing to the side, you're going to take a step with your, in this case, our left foot first. Okay, taking a step out. Our right leg is going to cross over top and then behind and alternating in front and behind. Miranda's going to do a good job of kicking her knee up and over, okay, to get those hip flexors a good exercise. Here we go. So we're in front, behind, in front, behind. Good. Here comes Trip. Going to be in front and behind, in front and behind. Notice how they pivot their hips a little bit. It stretches those hip flexors out.
Now, remember here that if you are not used to this activity, as with any of the other ones, you can start off slow and more of a walk to get the steps and then build yourself up in speed.
Next thing we're going to do are side shuffles. Okay, a lot of times basketball players will use these in a defensive position. So we're going to get a nice wide stance. We're going to drop our hips, sink our butt down, and we're going to shuffle sideways. Now, everything is going to stay square, which means our shoulders, our chest, our hips, our knees, and our toes are all going to point in the same direction. It's not a side run, but it's called a shuffle. Okay, so again, you don't have to go fast. We want to be in a nice controlled motion. And here is our side shuffles. Notice how Miranda stays square, okay? Her butt's down, go Trip. Good job, okay? We never click our heels, okay? Both of our students did a great job of keeping their feet equal distance apart because you don't want to cross your feet or click your heels. Next thing we're gonna do are called power skips, okay? It's like a normal Sunday skip to the park, except for you want to explode up as high as you possibly can, okay? You're almost gonna look like Mario on the Mario video game trying to collect coins. All right, so here comes our students. Okay, Miranda's gonna go first. Notice her opposite hands, opposite feet. She's really trying to drive off the ground and get as much height as possible. Here comes Trip. All right. Next up, we have the inchworm.
All right, so inchworms, what you're going to do here is you are going to stand with your feet together, walk your hands out from your body all the way into a plank position, and then you are going to walk your feet back up to them, all the way back up. Okay, so walking our hands out all the way to plank and then walking the feet back up. We don't ever do these for a very long period of time. Every now and then we may add a push-up into it, and Trip will show you that when he goes. So here he goes. We're going to make him do it. He doesn't like these. Push up with it. And then walk your feet in. There we go. Make sure your hands and your feet are separate. A lot of people want to go, and when they walk their hands out, they try to walk their feet at the same time.
That's just a bear call. All right, next thing we're going to do are called backward lunges. Okay, pretty self-explanatory, just like our forward lunge. This time you will face the other direction. You'll kick a back leg out. Okay, again, about 2 inches off the ground. You don't have to twist on these. You're just going to stride it out just like that. Sink hips low. Keep your back and your chest up, back straight. Okay, here comes Trip. Does a good job with those.
All right, next one we're going to do are called split hops. Coach Page. All right, you're going to get in a lunge position. Wow. You're going to get in a lunge position.
Lunge.
Lunge.
You're going to explode up and switch legs in midair and come back in a lunge on the other side. So up, switch.
There
like
you
that. Do it again. Good. So you're going to push up. You're pushing off your front leg. You're exploding up and you're switching legs and you're dropping down. Do not hit your knee. Do not touch your knee. You can come within a few inches of the ground.
Make sure anytime you do a lunge, notice how their knees are staying behind their toes. Don't let your knees come out over your toes. Keep that chest back and keep your weight back.
All right, next thing we're going to do are called ski jumps. Okay, you're going to stand with both feet together. We are going to hop out at a 45-degree angle with your feet together. Now, notice Miranda is going to land almost in about a half squat. We do that to absorb the impact of our body weight. If we have our knees straight, you can hurt your knees that way. Okay, so she's going to swing her arms, land in a squat position. You don't have to go that low. Okay, and again, you don't have to do these exercises as fast if you are just starting out. Trip's going to show you. Notice how he keeps his feet together. He jumps to the right, jumps to the left. Notice how he uses his arms. Okay, that really propels him forward and gets a little extra exercise in there behind him.
And also notice how quiet their feet were. You don't want to land and hear a big thud when you land. You want to land soft. That's the whole point in kind of cushioning the blow by bending your knees.
Use your legs as shock absorbers, guys. If you ride bicycles and stuff like that, make sure they're the shock absorbers. All right, the next one we're going to do are squats. You guys want to come out? Okay, what you're going to do is if you need to balance, you can put your hands out in front, straight out in front. All your weight goes on your heels, and you're going to push your rear end back, and you're going to try to keep your knees back behind your toes. Don't push your knees forward. You should be sitting back like you're sitting in the chair. Try to get completely parallel if you can. It may take you a little bit as far as getting your hip flexors loosened up, but work on getting low. There you go.
Guys, one thing to help you out with squats is to keep your chest back and your eyes up. Okay, if you start looking down, then your upper half is going to kind of fold over some, and that's not what we want with the squat.
And keep your toes pointed straight or just slightly out. You don't want your toes to go in. You don't want your knees to go in. So one way to help that is just to keep those toes straight and your knees should follow.
All right, next one's gonna be push-ups. I'm gonna step in the front and show you where your hand placement should be. Your hand placement should be right out in front of your chest, right straight out in front of your chest. When you come down, your hands should be right beside your chest. Do a push-up, okay? Now, notice my elbows are not flared up here. They're coming off at an angle off of my body, okay? So I'm gonna push up and I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna keep my body straight and I'm not gonna have any sag in my waist. And I'm not gonna raise my rear end up. Now, next, you guys want to do a push-up right quick?
Miranda, while he's doing that, will you show a modified also?
Okay, so Tripp's going to do a military push-up, and Miranda's going to show you a modified, whichever one is more comfortable for you. Okay, we're not going to use the term easy because none of this should be easy. That's why we work at it. Okay, if it is, then we need to do more reps of them at home. Okay, if this seems easy, but Miranda's doing the modified, and Tripp is doing the military.
And real quick, notice how Miranda's all her weight is forward. All her weight's not back on her knees. She's just using her knees for support, and she's got all her weight forward on her hands.
Good job, guys.
Very
You can
good.
stand up. Okay. Real quick, we're going to do some line jumps. Okay. Tripp is going to show you the horizontal, the side-to-side line jumps, and Miranda is going to show you the forward and back at the same time. Both of them will have the same form, which means their feet are going to be together and they're going to use their arms. Okay. Notice how Miranda's toeing the line and Tripp has the side of his foot on the line. You guys can do this in your living room, out in the driveway, anything like that. Just find something to kind of jump over. They're not going to jump for distance, but for quickness. Okay, ready, go. Okay, notice how side to side and forward and back there. Good job, guys. Next thing, we're getting towards the end here. Coach Page is going to talk just for a second about burpees, and then Coach Garden's going to explain mountain climbers, and then we'll be finished.
All right, you two come out, please. All right, when it comes to burpees, you're going to get into what they call maybe a defensive stance. You're going to have your feet, your weight on the balls of your feet, which is a toe area. So they're going to squat down, have their hands out in front of them, and what they're going to do, you might want to move to the wall, okay? And what they're going to do, they're going to kick their feet back and come into a plank position. Kick their feet back. They're going to bring their feet back up, and then they're going to jump with their hands up over their head. So do a couple like that, guys.
They're both going to do 3 each.
Like normal speed.
Normal speed.
There we go.
Okay, good job, guys.
All right, so next we'll have mountain climbers. You're going to get into almost a plank position, but your butt's going to be a little bit higher up in the air than a plank. Go ahead and get there. All right, and all you're going to do is bring knees to your elbows. Now, you want to switch your feet each time. Go ahead. Your feet should change positions each time. What I don't want to see, don't make your feet land. Just bring your knee up. Show that.
Like
what I don't want to see is what Tripp's doing right here. Is where you're just running in place and not switching your feet. Make sure your feet, both feet land with each rep. Okay, next. Y'all are good. We have speed skaters. Miranda's going to show those. You are going to get in a loaded one-legged squat. So load on your left leg. Okay, get your foot up. There you go. And she is going to jump as far as she can to the other side and land on her right foot. Okay, notice how she looks like a skater by the way her leg's going in behind. Now, she is not just barely jumping. She is going to go as far as she can, trying to cover as much ground as she can each time. All right. And last but not least, we have crunches. So they're going to lay down on the ground with their feet up, feet crossed. Their hands are going to be across their chest, and they're just going to try to crunch both their lower and upper half to each other. Can y'all turn
sideways,
to the side?
guys. There you go.
Your shoulders should come off the ground 4 to 6 inches for this to work. Don't just bob your head up and down. You should be pulling your shoulders up off the ground and pulling your legs back to you. And this is hitting complete abs. It's hitting middle, lower, and upper abs when you do all this together.
All right, so anytime we have these in any of the workouts these 2 weeks, you can refer back to this video so that you remember how the form goes. But other than that, that's all we have for you.